Investiture of the Gods, Chapter 67.
Okay, let's get into it. Why did fate need a wedding right before a war? So let's start with that moment. Zhang Jie captures an enemy general, Hong Jin. Standard procedure, right? Execute him.
Yep, seems straightforward. Zhang Jie orders Nang Gongche, the executioner, to do it immediately, quick and clean.
But then,
Just as the sword is raised, this figure, the matchmaker, Elder Yehi Xianweng, appears out of nowhere, literally shouts, "Stop! Save this man!"
whoa, okay, so if you're Zhang Jie, this must be jarring, right? How do you react when some celestial matchmaker interrupts a military execution? Doesn't that undermine everything?
You'd think so, but Zhang Jie is operating under the mandate of heaven. He can't just ignore a divine messenger. And the elder explains this isn't just any general. He says Hong Jin and this dragon princess, Long Ji, are bound by the red thread of fate, the Hong Siyu, the sources call it. They have to have a secular marriage. It's preordained.
The dragon princess. Right, she wasn't just any noblewoman, was she? She had her own backstory.
Exactly. She's actually an immortal, exiled from the Jade Pool, that's Yao Qi for, violating clear rules, Fen Likingi.
Okay, exiled for breaking rules. So this marriage, it's not about romance, is it?
Not really, no. The elder makes it clear this is about fulfilling her secular destiny, her Su Yuan. It's the last step she needs to complete on Earth before she can return to the heavens.
Forced marriage as celestial admin. But how does that help Zhang Jie's army? Why is this detour necessary for the war effort?
That's the intriguing part. The elder specifically says this marriage will help the army cross the 5 passes. It suggests Longji's fate, or maybe fulfilling this specific destiny, is cosmically linked to the campaign's success.
Like it clears a celestial hurdle or something?
Perhaps. Or maybe her own significant power, once her destiny is aligned, aids them. Whatever it is, it's presented as a necessary condition for victory. It shows that military success here isn't just strategy, it's also about aligning with fate.
So what happens? Zhang Jie just agrees.
He has to. Hong Jin is spared, he's healed, and on the 3rd day of the 3rd month, he marries the princess. It's a stunning reversal. Military logic just had to yield to heavenly command.
Wow. Okay, so with that personal fated event sorted, they can finally focus on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
The actual war.
Exactly. They pivot immediately from sorting out a marriage to sorting out the justification for invading the Shang. Zhang Jie drafts the formal declaration of war, the exhibition of campaign, or Chushi Biao, and presents it to King Wu.
Now, do you think King Wu would be eager? King Zhu sounds like a terrible ruler, but the sources say he was hesitant.
Deeply hesitant. Yeah, it's a major point. He's facing this huge moral dilemma. His father or predecessor made him promise, never let a subject attack a ruler.
Okay, so attacking King Zhu, even a bad one, feels like breaking that promise, like being unfilial and disloyal.
Precisely. He's worried about appearing Fushan Wang unfilial to his ancestor and Bu Zhenong disloyal to the ruling dynasty. It's not just personal feelings, it's about public perception and legitimacy. How would it look if he started a civil war?
But wait, isn't the mandate of heaven supposed to cover this? If heaven wants Zhu out, shouldn't that be enough for King Wu? Why worry so much about appearances?
That's a great point. The mandate provides the reason, but King Wu needs to look righteous in carrying it out, not like some power-hungry rebel. He needs political cover.
So Zhang Jie's declaration had to be more than just a list of complaints.
Oh, absolutely. It had to be a slam-dunk case, shifting the narrative entirely. It wasn't rebellion, it was divine duty.
And he lays it on thick, right? What kind of crimes does he list?
He goes straight for the foundations. He accuses King Zhu of violating the Wuchang, the 5 constants. That's the bedrock of social order, ruler-subject, father-son relationships, all that.
So Zhu isn't just a bad king. He's undermining society itself.
Exactly. Zhang Jie details the extreme depravity, the drinking, the debauchery, ignoring the ancestors, listening only to his wife, murdering loyal officials. By doing all this, Zhu basically abandoned what it means to be a king. He forfeited the mandate.
And Zhang Jie doesn't mince words. He mentions the Fenzi Xinliang boiling or roasting the innocent. That's incredibly graphic.
It is. It's meant to shock King Wu, to show the sheer scale of the tyranny. Zhang Jie's argument becomes, we aren't rebels, we are acting for heaven. Dai Ti on Yigzeng Tiantiao executing heaven's punishment because heaven itself is outraged, Hong Tianzhen Nu. It's framed as saving the people.
Okay, so that's the divine justification, but there's still the tricky politics on the ground, right? All the other feudal lords are gathering.
Yes, they're meeting at Mengjin. And this is where another advisor, the Grandi Sanisheng, steps in with a very practical, very clever argument.
What does he suggest?
He points out the danger of inaction. If all the lords are gathering to potentially challenge Zhu and Western Qi stays home, well, they could be accused of supporting Zhu's tyranny. They might even become a target themselves.
So doing nothing is also risky. So what's the perfect strategy San Yisheng proposes, the Wan Quan say?
It's brilliant, he says. Join the coalition at Mengjin. That fulfills their obligation to the other lords. But initially, they should claim they're just there to observe governance. Guanzhang Yushang. Basically, watch Shang and hope King Zhu reforms.
So show up, look like you're part of the movement, but hold back from actually attacking. It gives King Wu the cover he needs.
Exactly. It addresses the political reality, aligns them with the other lords, positions their army, but maintains this veneer of patience and technical loyalty. It solves King Wu's moral and political bind.
Okay, so the divine detour is done, the political justification is set. What's the final piece before the war begins?
The final piece is formally empowering the leader. Jiang Ziya needs to be officially appointed commander-in-chief de Jiangjun, and this requires a major ceremony.
All right, the Golden Terrace. San Yisheng suggests building this.
Yes, on Mount Qi. He specifically invokes the precedent of the legendary Yellow Emperor appointing his strategist Feng Hao. This wraps the appointment in ancient ritual and maximum legitimacy.
And the symbols of power given to Jiang Ziya, the yellow axe and white yak tail, what do they represent?
They symbolize absolute military authority, Huang Yue and Bai Mao. It means Jiang Ziya gets Jiang Xuanwai's Jiang complete control over everything happening outside the capital, basically the entire war effort. He answers to no one else.
Total control. But what's really striking is what happens before the ceremony, the discipline aspect.
Oh, yeah. Before the big day, Jiang Ziya's new military administrator, Xin Jia, issues the 17 beheading offenses, Zheng Ji Ling Pai. 17 things that get you executed on the spot.
17. That's intense. It really shows the contrast, doesn't it?
Ooh.
Heavenly Fate arranges a marriage, but winning the war requires this absolutely ruthless human control.
It speaks volumes about the stakes. They needed iron discipline. These laws weren't just about obvious things like desertion. They covered morale, supplies, even gossip.
Let's look at a couple. The Yao Jun offense, the evil occult army one. Execution for spreading rumors, faking ghosts or dreams. Why is that a capital crime?
Think about it. They're fighting a war supposedly ordained by heaven. The biggest internal threat could be doubt, fear, or loss of faith caused by superstition or false omens. If morale collapses because of rumors, the whole divine mission could fail. So controlling belief itself becomes critical. Execution for rumors seems extreme, but it's about preventing psychological defeat.
And then there are the really practical ones, like Tanjun, the greedy army offense. You could be executed for skimping on supplies, even just like dulling your own sword or breaking a bowstring to save effort or materials.
Yes, it shows that every single detail mattered. The army's survival depended on every soldier, every piece of equipment functioned perfectly. Any self-interest, any cutting corners, no matter how small, was seen as potentially jeopardizing the entire campaign, the entire state. So it warrants immediate execution. The stakes just elevate everything.
Wow. Okay, so they lay down these brutal laws, and then they have the big ceremony.
Right. On the 15th day of the third month, the sources describe the pomp, the music, the 3 cannon blasts signaling the moment. And the most crucial part, King Wu himself physically helps Jiang Ziya onto the war chariot.
He does what now?
He performs the Fu Fengwei. He personally pushes the chariot axle forward 3 steps. It's this incredibly powerful symbolic gesture. The ruler is physically demonstrating his yielding of military authority to the commander.
That's huge.
Yep.
It seals the deal, showing the total transfer of power and the immense honor being given to Jiang Ziya, who the poem reminds us is like over 80 years old at this point, right? Finally getting this command.
Exactly. A lifetime culminates in this moment.
So it all comes together on the Golden Terrace. You've got fate dictating a marriage, political necessity shaping the justification for war, and this absolute brutal discipline underpinning the military command. All these threads had to align perfectly before they could even start marching. And it starts with just the sheer scale, right? The setting. The sources talk about this procession to Qishan, Mount Qi. 70 that's miles and miles of huge red flags.
It is. And that's not just about looking impressive, though it certainly was. It's a message. To the world, sure, but also pointedly to the heavens. It says this transition. It has overwhelming support, real force behind it.
Okay, so let's dig into the physical structure first.
Yeah.
The Jintai, the Golden Terrace. The text mentions that as you approach it, there's this memorial archway and a couplet written on it.
Yeah.
Wow. It's basically the mission statement for the whole war.
It really is. It lays it all out. 3,000 societies revert to the Zhou sovereign. One lineage of China belongs to King Wu.
That's incredibly bold. It's not saying we hope this happens.
No, it's presented as a done deal, a fact of history, almost preordained, that this is the natural order reasserting itself.
And the platform itself.
Yeah.
The dimensions, you mentioned they weren't just random numbers. It was 3 zang high.
3 zang. And that number 3, it's immediately significant. It ties the whole structure to the 3 powers, or the 3 talents. Heaven, earth, and man. Tian, Dai, Ren.
So by just choosing that height, they're physically linking King Wu's, human project to the basic structure of the entire cosmos.
That's exactly the idea. They aren't just building a stage. They're constructing a sort of miniature universe, a model, to validate their claim to rule. It's a powerful statement of legitimacy.
Wow. Okay, and it didn't stop at the height, right? The width mattered too.
It did. 24 zang wide, and that number connects to the 24 solar terms, the GCs, that divide the traditional Chinese agricultural year.
So they're aligning themselves not just with cosmic structure, but with cosmic time, with the seasons, the natural flow of the year.
Precisely. They're showing their rise to power isn't disrupting the natural order, it's perfectly in sync with it. They're the rightful managers of the world, in tune with its cycles.
Okay, this is already intricate, but then there's the people arranged around the platform. In 3 distinct layers, you said. Each layer meaning something different.
Yes, and this is where the detail gets almost overwhelming, but it's crucial. Remember, claiming the mandate of heaven is one thing, but proving it, especially during a potentially messy transfer of power, requires demonstrating absolute cosmic harmony. You have to show you've dotted every I and crossed every celestial T.
So, layer 1, what did that represent?
Layer 1 is about grounding the event in the earth itself, the fundamental energies. It uses the system of the 5 elements, the Wu Xing.
Right, the source mentions 125 people here, split into 5 groups of 25, and they were color-coded.
Exactly. Each group had specific colored flags matching an element and a direction. Yellow for the center, representing earth. Green for east, wood. White for west, metal. Red for south, fire. And black for north, water.
So the very foundation of the ceremony is explicitly harmonized with the earth's energies through color and number.
Correct. Then the second layer elevates the symbolism. It represents the heavens, the celestial sphere. This layer had 365 people holding 365 large red flags.
365.
Yeah.
Like the days in a year or degrees in a circle.
Precisely. It corresponds to the 365 degrees of the celestial sphere, the Zhu Tian. So now they've symbolically encompassed the heavens above.
Earth below, heavens above. What's the third layer?
The third layer brings it back to the divisions of time within the year, but more detailed than the solar terms. 72 generals, called Yajiang, holding different weapons, swords, halberds, hooks, hammers.
And the number 72 represents?
The 72 Hao. These are shorter periods, roughly 5 days each, that further divide the year's seasons. So they've mapped the structure onto Earth, the heavens, and the detailed progression of time.
So the platform isn't just standing there. It's like an architectural map of the cosmos, centered on this event.
That's a great way to put it. The investiture isn't just approved by heaven. The whole setup is a physical model of the universe, perfectly arranged to endorse Jiangxia and, by extension, King Wu.
Okay, let's shift from the stage dressing, amazing as it is, to the actual protocol, the interaction between King Wu himself, Jifa, and Jiangxia. This part is fascinating because it seems to flip the usual power dynamic, right? Just for a moment.
It does, and it's a crucial piece of ritual theater. It emphasizes just how vital the general's role is in this divinely sanctioned mission. The ceremony actually demands humility, submission from the ultimate ruler.
So King Wu, the son of heaven, he arrives.
Yeah.
And what, he has to get out of his carriage first.
Yes, he dismounts. But it's more pointed than that. The text says San Yesheng, who's one of King Wu's key advisors, actually tells the king to walk over to Jiangxia's carriage.
Tells the king to walk over?
Yes. And then instructs him to respectfully ask the Marshal Jiangxia to defend. Please, Marshal, dismount from your carriage.
That's a huge gesture. The king, the source of secular power, is momentarily playing a supplicant role to the military leader. Why?
Because Jiangxia isn't just a general at this point. He's the designated instrument of heaven's will. The king's deference acknowledges that the military campaign, the execution of the mandate, temporarily holds supreme importance.
Okay, so Jiangxia gets down. Then what happens?
San Yusheng leads him to the edge of the platform, the Jintai, and tells him to face south.
Facing south. That's traditionally the direction the ruler faces, right? when holding court.
Exactly. So for this part of the ceremony, Zhang Zia, the one receiving the mandate to act, symbolically occupies the position of supreme authority. It underlines that this military mission comes first. The state's survival and legitimacy depend on it right now.
It really sets the stage perfectly for what comes next, these three big prayers. You said they weren't just general appeals for blessings.
Not at all. Think of them more like formal indictments. Legal arguments presented to different levels of the divine court, justifying why the Shang dynasty, and specifically King Zhu, has forfeited the mandate of heaven. They lay out the crimes.
And what's really striking is the precision. Not just one prayer, but three, each targeting a different cosmic level, and all performed, the text notes, at the exact same auspicious time.
Right. The 13th year of Great Zhu, first month of spring, the first day, Bingzi. That timestamp locks the entire ritual sequence into a moment deemed cosmically favorable.
So, ritual number one. Who performs it and who are they talking to?
San Yisheng officiates this one. Remember him, the advisor who instructed the king. He's known as this figure of loyal, stable governance. It makes sense he handles the first appeal.
And the appeal is to
Earth. Specifically, the gods associated with the land. The 5 sacred peaks, the 4 great rivers Yangtze, Yellow, Huai, Ji, and other famous mountains and rivers. The terrestrial powers.
Okay, addressing the foundations. And what's the main charge against the Shang King, King Zhu, in this first prayer?
It focuses on fundamental failures of governance and morality. Things like listening only to his wife Daji, neglecting the proper sacrifices to ancestors, promoting criminals and corrupt officials, and generally abusing the common people. It's about basic misrule affecting the land and its people.
So, laying the groundwork for why change is needed.
Right.
Then ritual 2. It escalates.
Significantly. This one is officiated by the Duke of Zhou, Zhu Gongdan. He was King Wu's younger brother, famed for his wisdom, his mastery of rituals and cosmology, the perfect person to address the wider cosmos.
And Zhang Zia changes position.
Yes, now he faces east for this prayer, the direction of sunrise, beginnings.
And the audience for this prayer is bigger, more powerful.
Definitely. They're appealing now to the sun, the moon, the stars, the wind lord, the rain master, but also, interestingly, to the spirits of past sages and enlightened kings, calling on history and nature itself.
And the charges against King Zhu get much worse here, don't they?
Oh yes, this is where the truly horrific stuff comes in. Ignoring the supreme deity, Shangdi, abandoning the ancestral temples, rampant debauchery. And then the really brutal acts of cruelty. The text specifically mentions burning and roasting loyal officials alive, cutting open pregnant women to satisfy curiosity.
Just unimaginable cruelty. They're building a case for not just incompetence, but monstrous moral failure.
Exactly, and the prayer makes a point of mentioning King Zhu's arrogance. Apparently, he justified his actions by saying something like, I have the people, I have the mandate, basically claiming divine right for his atrocities.
Which, according to Zhu, a prayer just enraged heaven even more. He completely misunderstood that the mandate isn't unconditional.
Precisely. His claiming it so brazenly almost forced the Zhu to publicly demonstrate through these rituals that it had been well and truly revoked due to his actions.
Okay, so Earth, then the cosmos. That leads to the final appeal. Ritual 3. Who handles this one?
This one is officiated by the Duke of Shao, Zhao Gongxi, another incredibly respected figure known for his wisdom and role in establishing the legal foundations of the Zhu state. He makes the ultimate appeal.
And Zhang Zia faces
North, facing the pole star, the seat of celestial authority.
And the target here is the absolute highest power.
Yes. The great heaven's supreme deity, Heushen Shangdi, and also the spirit of the earth, Hutu Shenki, covering both celestial and terrestrial sovereignty at the highest level.
And the charges here must be the most severe violations.
They are. Violating the 5 constants, the fundamental virtues of benevolence, righteousness, propriety, wisdom, and trustworthiness. Cutting himself off from heaven through his arrogance. And then specific symbolic acts of cruelty are mentioned again. Cutting the shins of people crossing a ford in winter just to see if their marrow was cold resistant, and cutting out the heart of the sage Bigan to see if it had the requisite 7 apertures.
Just brutal. These aren't just crimes, they're violations of cosmic and human order itself.
Exactly. And this final prayer explicitly frames Jiangxia's upcoming campaign not just as a justified war, but as an act of heavenly punishment. The mandate is now fully, unequivocally transferred and weaponized.
Once that divine green light is given, they need to make the transfer of authority tangible, right? With physical symbols, Jiang Ziya kneels.
He does. He kneels to receive the dragon scroll and phoenix seal, the documents symbolizing the mandate.
And then the gear, the instruments of power, they sound pretty spectacular.
Oh, they are. He gets the yellow battle axe, the Huangyu, a symbol of military authority, and the white yak tail banner, the Bai Mao, used for command signals.
And his personal armor. The helmet description sounds incredible.
It's meant to evoke divine power. 6 ridges, 4 phoenixes, dripping with coral, agate, pearls. His robe is described as large, red, woven with gold, explicitly linked to southern fire, another elemental connection. Even his belt is elaborate jade. It's all about projecting celestial authority.
But beyond the dazzling appearance, there are specific items that carry the real legal weight, right?
Yes. The seal and the sword are key symbols of his command. But the text highlights 3 items specifically given to command the nobles and assist the Son of Heaven. And among these is the banner, the sword, and crucially, an arrow that commands the Son of Heaven.
An arrow that commands the king. How does that work?
It's the ultimate symbol of the transferred mandate for the duration of the military campaign. It signifies that, in matters related to executing this heavenly punishment, Jiang Ziya's authority, derived directly from heaven, can even compel the king.
Wow. Okay, so he receives these incredibly potent symbols. What happens next with the king?
Now, the protocol requires King Wu to bow 8 times, but below the platform, showing respect to the newly invested authority.
But then Jiang Ziya uses his new power.
Immediately, he uses that banner to command the Son of Heaven to formally summon King Wu up onto the platform.
Ah, so he brings the king up to the level of the divine mandate.
And then instructs him to sit facing south, restoring him to the ruler's proper position.
So the brief role reversal is over. Ziya held the ultimate symbolic power for a moment, received the tools, and now puts the king back in his place, but with a clear understanding established.
Exactly. The king is the sovereign, but the general, empowered by heaven for this specific task, operates with distinct, divinely sanctioned authority for the campaign.
And this leads to what you call the aha moment. Jiang Ziya, having just received this immense power, immediately lays down the law to the king.
Yes, he kneels again, but this time to give his charge to King Wu. He sets out 4 absolutely clear principles for command. These are non-negotiable rules for how the military campaign will operate in relation to the court.
And are they?
First, the state must not be governed from the outside, meaning military commanders shouldn't meddle in civil affairs back home. Second, the army must not be controlled from the center. This is the crucial one for the king. No micromanaging the war from the capital.
Clear separation of powers there. What are the other 2?
Third, a divided mind cannot serve the ruler, demanding loyalty and focus from his subordinates. And fourth, a hesitant will cannot meet the enemy, emphasizing the need for decisiveness and commitment from everyone, including implicitly the king himself.
So these aren't just military maxims. They are political principles, establishing operational independence and demanding unified resolve.
Absolutely. Jiang Ziya is using his freshly granted authority to ensure the campaign won't be undermined by court politics or royal second-guessing. He needs a free hand to execute heaven's decree.
Now, what's King Wu's response to all this? He just went through quite a ritual.
His request is simple and practical. He just asks that the campaign reaches the planned gathering point at Mengjin quickly and returns soon. He accepts the terms.
Okay, so the earthly, political, and military setup is complete. But the divine involvement isn't over yet.
Not quite. There's a final, very significant divine endorsement. The highest celestial being shows up in person. Yuanqi Tianzun, the primordial lord of heaven, basically the supreme Taoist deity in this pantheon. He arrives with his whole entourage, purple aura, immortal cranes, phoenixes, celestial music, attendants made of gold and jade. It's a huge deal.
And why does he come? Just to say goodbye?
Pretty much. He comes to personally bid farewell to his disciple, Jiang Ziya. It's the ultimate acknowledgement of Ziya's crucial role in this whole cosmic rebalancing act.
Does he offer any advice or anything?
He offers 3 specific toasts. Simple ones, actually. First, for success in supporting the sovereign, King Wu. Second, for stable governance once they win. And third, for a swift meeting with the allied nobles at Mengjin. practical blessings for the mission.
Seems straightforward enough.
But then Jiang Ziya asks the crucial question. He asks his master about the chances of success and failure in the campaign ahead. He wants some foresight.
And Tianzong gives him
a prophecy.
Yeah.
A 4-line verse known as a Ji. And this is fascinating because it confirms that even though the war is heaven-mandated, it's going to be incredibly dangerous. It maps out the major perils.
So heaven's blessing doesn't mean an easy ride. What does the prophecy warn him about?
Specifically, 2 major obstacles. First, encountering the Juxian Array, the Zuxianzhen, a powerful magical formation at a place called Jipai Pass. Second, suffering a terrible plague or pestilence at Chuanyun Pass. So specific locations and types of danger.
That's remarkably precise. Anything else?
There's a more cryptic warning. Beware of Da Zhao Guang, which is ambiguous. Could be a person, a place, maybe even a concept, like beware of great brightness or rely on great brightness. Scholars debate it.
And the last line?
The last line offers some reassurance. It says, after passing the 10,000 Immortals Array, the Wan Xianzhen, another huge supernatural battle, his body will be healthy. The implication is that the worst dangers, especially from opposing immortal forces, will be over after that point.
So a roadmap of trials, essentially. Confirmation of victory, but only after surviving specific named ordeals.
Exactly. And the divine foresight extends beyond just Jiang Ziya. Other immortals who are present also give specific prophecies about the fates of some of the key Zhu generals.
Oh, really? Like who?
Well, Lei Zhenzi, the winged thunder god-like figure, is told he'll stabilize the world using his 2 immortal apricots, the source of his power, and his destiny is to protect the Zhu dynasty for 800 years. A very long-term earthly role.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yang Jian, the powerful warrior often associated with Erlang Shen, is told he'll roam the world freely because he's mastered the subtlety of the 8-9 arcane technique, a powerful transformation skill. His destiny is freedom.
So different paths for different heroes. What about Li Jing? He becomes important later.
Li Jing. His prophecy is particularly interesting. He's predicted to achieve sainthood in the flesh, meaning become an immortal without dying first and later to become a protector on Spiritual Mountain. We'll come back to that.
Okay. Are all the prophecies positive?
No. There's a poignant moment with Hong Tianhua, another young warrior. The immortal watching over him, the true lord of morality and the way, sees his fate and is apparently so saddened by his short destiny that he can't bring himself to speak plainly.
Oh, wow. So he knows something bad is coming.
Yes. He just gives Hong Tianhua a cryptic verse to keep in mind, strongly hinting at impending doom. So even amidst all this divine planning and prophecy, individual tragedy is still baked into the story. Fate is complex.